Hello everyone, this is Gabby and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today we're going to be reviewing Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. This is the book 4 on the Stormlight Archive, book 4 of 10 he has planned for the Stormlight Archive series, and one of the most hyped books of 2020, with good reason. So this video was supposed to be spoiler-free and spoiler-filled, but as I was structuring it, I discovered that I had so many things to say in the spoiler section that I had to split it into videos. You're still gonna get the spoiler-filled review, but it's gonna be a little later because I'm still structuring it. It's gonna be long. I have a lot of thoughts. Rhythm of War, in my opinion, is a slightly different book from the other three, mainly because the structure is different. In other books, we pick up right after the other book ended, and this is not the case. In Rhythm of War, we pick up 1 year or so after the events of the end of Oathbringer, book 3. We usually get a slow burn and then some climactic moments near the end of every part of the book. There are 5 parts, and then in the end, the infamous Sanderlands, when everything unravels and hell breaks loose, and oh my god. But here is slightly different. Actually, the beginning is very fast-paced, and I loved it. It's action-packed, it's full of character depth from the beginning. Wow! But then the pacing starts to slow down near the middle of the book, and I didn't love that. I mean, I still love this book, yes, but I didn't like that so much, and I think that's the reason why it took me a little longer to finish this book. There were, in my opinion, some parts that could have been shorter and that wouldn't have had such an impact in the book, but that's me. Now, the world building. Dude, if you have read Sanderson's works before, and I think you have if you're watching this video, then you know that Brandon Sanderson is a master of his world building. And this shines so much in this book in a way that I haven't since this book 1, The Way of Kings, and then some more. Roshar is a massive and rich world, and Sanderson knows exactly how to bring it to life. Whether our characters are trying to figure out how to bring to life this ancient tower of Urithiru, because yes, in Roshar, everything has a soul, even inanimate objects, and this town is a living being. Or we're traveling through Shadesmar, which is in the cognitive realm, is the place where all this print come from, and we see some spectacular and unbelievable places, like, oh my god, this world is more alive than I am. I don't want to talk so much about the world building in this book because most of the deepening of the world building here has to do with the plot of the book, and that would be spoilers, so I will leave more of my hype of the world building here for the spoiler video. Character-wise, I get some mixed feelings because even though all Sanderson's character works amaze me a lot, I love his characterization. In this book, the characters he focused on are really, really well done, and the ones he's not focused on kind of fall out of the map. And I didn't love that as a character reader. But it's also really different because in every other book, the character we get the flashbacks on are the main character of the story, and I think this is not the case. In The Way of Kings, we get Kaladin's backstory, and it's his book. In Words of Radiance is Chalance, in Oathbringer is Delinar, and in this one we get Eshonai's and Venli's flashbacks, but I think the main character here is Navani. I think it's interesting the way Venli is portrayed in this book. It's interesting to see her journey, how she came to be what she is now. I still don't like her, but I care about her a little bit more. But I think the spotlight is on Navani. She takes the prize here. This is Navani's book for sure. I loved her arc. I had a blast. Every time she was on stage, she was in the center of the plot all the time, and oh my god, it's so good. Another character Brandon focused here in a really unique way was Kaladin. His arc was outstanding, was amazing, and I'm not gonna say anything else because I'm gonna get into spoilers. But it's good. But outside of these characters, I think the characterization wasn't as good as the other books. I missed the characters. I strongly felt the absence of them, and I left a little disappointed by that. We've come to love and get invested in some of these characters so much, and I thought that after Oathbringer, there was so much material to dive in, and then we didn't. I am not saying they didn't show up. They did. They fulfilled their part on the plot. They appeared. There were cool parts with them. But I was expecting so much more. Maybe I had too high expectation for these characters. I don't know, but I missed them. But what I loved most about this book was the amount of reveals and information we got. Not just Stormlight related, but Cosmere. Oh my goodness, the amount of Cosmere connection was huge. And I adore that. For those who don't know what the heck the Cosmere is, this is a universe Brandon Sanderson created where a lot of his books are set in. There's Warbreaker, Elantris, the Mistborn series, and the Stormlight Archive. Currently, I think White Sun too. And some novellas. We usually don't get so much information about the Cosmere other than some shared names or world hoppers, but it's always like in little bits and some Easter eggs. But here, it's like a whole wave of information come from different places in different forms. I was thrilled and I screamed like a crazy person every time I made a little connection about some stuff, and there's some huge stuff. I'm gonna make a whole section of Cosmere spoilers in my spoiler-filled review because this is too exciting to not to talk about it. Now, getting to the ending, oh my goodness, the ending is perfect. It's unexpected, it raises the stakes. I just had, at some point, I had to put the book like there, like, how, Brandon, how do you expect me to wait 3 years for this? The ending of the book sets up for book 5 neatly, beautifully, and oh my goodness, this should be no surprise. We know that Brandon Sanderson knows how to end his books in a really satisfying way. Even if we're in the middle of a series, he knows how to tie everything up within the book. And he knows what kind of information he wants to hold from us, and he's gonna deliver it at some point anyway. So this was my spoiler-free review for Rhythm of War. I'm sorry if it was too vague, but it's really difficult to make a spoiler-free review of this book where there's so many things to talk about. And yeah, if you haven't picked up the Stormlight Archive books and for some reason you're here, please pick up The Way of Kings. It's a fantastic journey. You won't regret it. And if you like the video and you want to stay tuned, give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, and click on the subscribe button. I will be posting Mondays and Thursdays. Thank you guys and see you soon.